bienvenidos. As you guys can see for the title today, I am doing my update for Pan That Face palette. If you've been following me, you guys know that last month I rolled in a new palette. I'm very excited to share with you guys where I stand with both palettes. I've come to a conclusion on a certain product. I will talk to you guys all about that, obviously, but first, if you're new, welcome. Alejandra. I go by Alex, eyeshadow enthusiast with an Ash Bar Japan. That is something you want to continue to see on your feed. Subscribe and join us. And now let's get on with this update. Alright, if you're new, I typically pan two face palettes a year simultaneously to try to get more use out of one palette, use up one at least, and get more usage or prepare the other one for a future Pan That Face palette. So I have both of my palettes here. If you want to see how I chose the one I did for this month, if you missed last month where I finished off my one, spoiler alert, I would highly recommend you check that out because I go through in detail of how I came about picking the one that I currently have now. So I'm going to start off with the Je sais ne quoi, whatever. I know one of you guys always tries to correct me. I don't need correction. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just a goof. No harm intended at all when I say this name at all whatsoever. So anyway, so I'm using this IT Cosmetics palette. I will post a photo of where I stood last month. Now last month I had two products left. One was giving me a hard time because I don't like it, and the other one is hard to use because it is very hardly pressed. So I have an update on both of the palettes, and you guys, you're gonna have to forgive me. I did not clean this palette after I used it today. Oh well, at least you guys know that it is being used and not just scraped and thrown out in the trash. So yeah, sorry, it's really looking disgusting, but whatever. This is what the palette is looking like right now. So I have a lot of explaining to do. Miss Lucy, you got the explaining to do. So this is where we stand right now. So as you guys can see, I have hit pan on this blush. So let's talk about this blush first. I did use this blush all the way up until hitting pan on it. You guys, I don't like the blush. I don't like this blush. Period. End of story. I am not somebody who, because this is not working for me and I'm going to get rid of it because that's what I'm going to do, I feel like I didn't finish this palette. Absolutely not. I finished it. When I'm done this bronzer, I finished 75% of this palette, and even more so because I've actually hit pan on a product I don't like. I am not liking my cheeks because I'm always having to mix with other things. I have had suggestions where I should re-franking this with a different blush. Hear me out. I have done plenty of declutters in my lifetime where I've gotten rid of things that I just genuinely don't like. So any blush that I own at this point, I went through my whole entire blush collection because when my aunt was here, she wanted some blushes. So I gave up some blushes already, cream, liquid, and powder blushes to her, that when I was looking at my own collection, there is nothing I want to ruin to save a blush I don't like. That makes absolutely zero sense to me. I'm not ruining a blush that I love all on its own, the formula, everything about it, because obviously it's still in my collection and I want to use it to finish this off. To prove what? That it doesn't make any sense to me. That's how I pan, and I'm not wasting my good products on a product that I just don't like at all. So I've used it to the point where I've said I've had enough. I'm not hate panning anymore. I'm not finding a way to make this work. You guys, I'm scraping this whole entire rest of this off and throwing it in the trash. It is what it is, you guys. I already had to sacrifice the powder and figure out how to use it because I didn't like it any which way on my face. I'm not doing it again with this one. There is no remedy to this blush. I've tried it all with the exception of frankening it with a blush that could possibly make it work, but I don't want to ruin that blush. So for the next update, you will see I'm scraping this into the trash. Into the trash it goes. I'm calling it done. I've used, I would say, at least 50% of this blush because, as you guys can see, and this has a really nice dip in here too, I just don't like this blush. It's ugly. Sorry, it's ugly. If you like it, I am so happy for you. I don't like it at all. I don't like it on my face. I don't like it how it looks. It's just does not suit me at all. If I could have pulled this out and given it to somebody, I would, but I can't. So that's where we stand with the blush. Now let's talk about the bronzer, because the bronzer is looking like a hot mess. I'm gonna show you a picture of where this bronzer was. I had pan all down the side here. My issue was because I had, the way I was using my brush, I hit pan on this side of the palette, that every time I would swirl my brush in there, it would flick up and break pieces of the bronzer. So I was losing product. I didn't like that. So what I ended up doing is repressing the whole entire bronzer. So you will see a picture of it before and after it was pressed. And this is where we are right now. I have hit pan again in the corner, and I'm starting to hit pan on these edges. Due to the fact of me repressing it. Obviously, I am not a machine. I don't have professional products and machinery here to press it down hard like it was before. Now it is very loose, which means a lot of powder kick-up. Can you see all that? There is powder kick-up all over. So now this bronzer, I have a feeling, will be used up rather quickly because it is now very pigmented and it is very powdery. So a little bit goes a long way. I am wearing it today, and I can make it work because I have had bronzers like this before, so I don't have a problem. I'm gonna get darker as it is, so it's still gonna work for me. But with that being said, I have a feeling this bronzer is now gonna go rather quickly, which is a good thing for me because that means I will finish yet another palette this year before the year ends. That is very exciting to me. I've only finished 2 face palettes one year, and that was my very first year panning a face palette. I had 2 face palettes that I completely finished, and the other ones I did not. So I might repeat that this year by finishing this one off. So this is where we stand with this one. So my goal is just to continue to use the bronzer, and the blush will be thrown in the trash. I'm gonna scrape it out after this video and throw it in the trash. Okay, so last month I rolled in my Tarte Off the Cuff palette. I will show you a picture where it was. It's basically brand new. I had used it a handful of times. I had done a review of it when it first came out, swatches of it, so on and so forth. And for this month, my goal was to try to at least get some usage out of it. I'm not trying to hit pan on any of them. I'm not trying to be a hero and try to finish yet another face palette. This is just for me to prepare this palette for a future Pan That Face palette panning where I want to choose this one. So I've been concentrating on one blush specifically because it works so well with this time of year, and I know that I would not want to use this in the fall or winter time. So I figured let me take advantage of it now. So as you guys can see, you can clearly see which blush I am currently using and loving at the moment, and that is Crave right here. You can clearly see that the imprint has completely almost gone on it because this is it's a lot older than a lot of my face palettes. It's become powdery, but it's still so pigmented. This blush is very pigmented. This is what I'm wearing on my cheeks, diffused out, and with a cream blush under it to make it stand out. If I were to swipe, look at this. This is very, very pigmented. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, and it livens up my skin. That's just a gentle swatch of it. It's really, really pretty, but it's gotten powdery, so I have a feeling I have concluded that this palette's gonna be rather easy to pan as well, which I'm happy for. It's not irritating my skin. It actually looks really nice on my cheeks. I really like it. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's really bringing life to my face. So the one that I've been concentrating on has been Crave. Crave is the one I'm using right now. Once I start to get into the fall, I'm gonna try to mix I feel like this is a spring, a fall. No, this one's like more of a fall, winter, spring, summery. And this one's definitely summer. Like I have a little bit of everything so I can mix around with them. So I'm just going to play around to see what I would want to do in the fall. Maybe I want to do this one for the fall or mix this one with this one in the fall and see what I come up with. I don't know. But for right now, I'm just using Crave and I'm enjoying Crave. I love Darling, but I have a feeling Darling is going to be so easy for me to use that I'm trying to keep that one for last because the other ones are going to be a little bit harder for me to use and to gravitate towards once Darling is gone. So this is where I stand with this one now. Again, this palette is not my forefront. It's not the one that I'm using up front and center. I just want to get more use out of it. I want to enjoy it. I want to prep it for when the year I choose that I want to use it. And it is starting to get dirty. That color Crave is starting to stain it. So I got to be extra careful with it because it's already staining even the outside when I touch it. So I got to be careful with it. Anyway, so this is where we stand with this one. Again, I'm just going to continue to use this one and see how much use I can get by the end of the year. Maybe hit pan on one product. I don't know. But for now, this is where we stand. So you guys, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the progress? I am actually excited and happy of where I stand. I did not think I would be able to finish this off this year, but it looks like my luck is turning, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so maybe by the end of the summer, I will have to yet pick another pan that face palette, or maybe just do a rotation of my face palettes to see what I want to do for following years, kind of like what I did with this year. And then that way you guys can choose which one I can do for the following year. That'll be exciting, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll put my videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.